My intention here is to show up always as the most authentic self, the most natural self, and where I am in my natural rhythm, in my natural nature, so that it is to be experienced as a real complete person on a journey of healing, of self-love, or self-compassion. And that is what I try to do for myself, and what I try to mirror and set as an invitation for you to do the same. Because I know out in the world, it can be very challenging and very unsafe. And there's so many other things that you have to worry about, that sometimes acting and being in your true nature in the moment is just not possible. But within that sphere of not possible, there is little elements of here and there within you, maybe, and maybe it's not visible, that you can act in alignment with who you are in the inner nature, with who you are in your value, in so that you can stand through with that integrity of just putting yourself first and taking care of your need and loving yourself and being from that space. So what I'm talking about today is this deep knowingness of who you are, and from that space you know how to take care of your needs while being who you have to be out in the world. So, if you are new here, hello, beautiful people, and welcome to In the Pocket with Susie. This is a tiny little space on the internet where you could come in for a little bit of support. This is also a place where we dig a little bit deeper each time in who we are, so that we could be in a better place when we're out in the world. And if you are new here, in this channel, we really talk about everything that you just heard, all things self-discovery, self-love, self-healing, self-forgiveness, and acceptance, and this allowingness to remind ourselves that it is okay, it is safe now to be who we are out with us and out in the world. And we get to practice this over here. So if this is something that you're leaning into, definitely I invite you to subscribe and come back for more of this important work of getting to know who we are and loving who we are as we discover more about who we are. This, I believe, is the most important thing we get to do, and it's the thing that will lead into this more joyous and more fulfilling and freeing life. Like I said, what I want to share with you today is this inner knowingness. And this inner knowingness is a force, a energy, something that you get tapped into and connected with. And when you're in that space, there is this calmness. There is this inner knowingness. There is this grounding and rooting. It's as if you are connected to like the source of something that is just unshakable, that no matter what the circumstance, the people, the world is chaotic or dismissive of you, or just not jiving with whatever you're saying, it's okay. It's like butter and it just falls off you. It's just like, you're like this transparency and it just goes through you. You don't receive any of the things that does not align with you. And guess what? That level, that type, that essence of inner knowingness is always within you. And I know you might be thinking, really? I'm not sure. I will share a story with you when I was pregnant. Now, my story, I share a little bit. I came from this space where really I thought I was just sort of this like throwaway child. My older sister, who's a year and a half, and she was this like golden child that's on the pedestal, and she is like smart, she's pretty, she is really good with people, so the parents love her, the teachers love her, and she gets amazing grades, and all the boys love her, and she says all the right things, and she is very photogenic, and she's beautiful in every way. Whereas I took that to be, I was the exact opposite. Not only the ugly duckling, but the one that is just sort of came out just like sort of by accident, and there was like nothing worthy. You know, I was that unwanted child or unwanted flower, and I was like a burden to the family and all that. Anyways, so I came from this space, meaning that I was really in low self-worth. Like zero. And I was either in a place that was just purely not enough. Nothing I can do is enough for anyone. Or I was just being too much if I was asking for something. Then it was just like, oh my gosh, here she go again, asking for this. So there was really nowhere that I feel safe in being who I am. And from that space, going into my adulthood, I was really, in my actions, in my belief of this, I was doing everything in my life, every step of the way, relationship, jobs, school, just every aspect of my life, I was affirming and perpetuating that belief that I was nothing and I was not worthy. And so why bother trying? Of course you don't love me. The whole victimhood mentality, I was really so connected with that identity. And I'm bringing this up to set up as a context. And that super insecure person, when I was pregnant with my both kids, but especially with my first one, because of the contrast of who I was being at that time. When I was pregnant with my first child, I had this, like it kind of eased into that space of like this deep knowingness that I love my body. My body knows what to do. I am 100% connected with my baby that's growing inside me. Like there's this like purity of knowingness that was so solid, but it was like in this beautiful, soft, supple, nurturing, nourishing, cushiony warmth way that no doctor, no elder, no mom of 8 could tell me anything that would kind of shake me, like nothing. And I became aware of this as me and my other mom friends, or things I would hear from the news, they will share about their experiences and how pregnancy is going for them. And a lot of the conversation was around like, oh, I don't know what to do. Should I wear this? Should I not wear this? Can I work out this way? Is it okay to eat this? Oh, like all these like little bit, they all became a version of themselves that was just so fragile. And because of the contrast of what I was experiencing, it was like, it was so, such a powerful reminder for me in where I was, that, wow, I don't need to, I have this knowingness within me that I can act from this place that isn't influenced by the outside factor. And as the pregnancy went on, I got obviously bigger, and there were more quote unquote worries about like germs, about the things that you eat, about how like traveling and things like that. And of course, I was cautious in the sense that I will ask about when it's okay to fly and what is okay. I'll double check and actually do my homework as well. But in the knowingness, sometimes the elder or the doctor will say, oh, you shouldn't. I'm trying to give you an example, something really concrete. I can't think of it right now. But when they suggest, so when we're in the delivery room, they were suggesting all these different things to do to kind of speed things up or try to, because I had really long labor and the baby was not progressing, I guess, down to the canal as rapidly as they like. And I really remember that, like, I felt really safe, and I felt this energy that my baby is safe, so I'm okay. I was in pain. It was not fun, but I was like, I'm okay. He's okay. So we're okay. So we're just gonna continue to walk or, move or do whatever it is I will do to move the labor along. But I was so certain that it didn't need any sort of intervention. I was so certain and so calm in through the agony of pain that I was feeling. I mean, I was physically in pain. I couldn't pee, I couldn't eat, but like this knowingness. And I'm sharing this knowingness in this way because it was so physical for me, and it was such a contrast to who I was. The person I was before I was pregnant, I could not make one decision without doubting myself, without giving myself 100 different options. And we're talking about what kind of tomato we should get, or what dress to wear for dinner, or what to order for dinner. It was like impossible. And every little thing needed a validation from other people, validation from the world that it is okay for me. Or I was looking for something from someone else so that I could align myself to that person. So I was trusting anything but myself. Whereas this process of pregnancy, I was so zoned in. So the reason I am bringing this up right now is to really, I'm experiencing this knowingness sporadically since my pregnancy. It hasn't been as potent, but I am experiencing it more and more now, and come in different doses. And I tap into this beingness, and nothing I say or how I say it is really a problem. And I believe this channel, for example, and the things I am sharing is coming through from that knowingness. That this message in the way that it's being shared isn't for everyone, and that's okay. And the message, the way it's been quote unquote dragged on, that my mental mind wants to tell me that I need to be more concise, that when I overuse the words, that I lose people. I get dragged by that a lot. But then there are also times I'm being with it. And that is way more powerful, way more grounding, way more centered. In knowing and believing that all this is of a purpose. All this is of service. All this is what I need to refuel, to believe, to affirm, to be with, to allow, and to stretch out in this inner knowingness. And that is how I believe how we get from this space of just randomly being connected with this knowingness to tapping into this knowingness. Like we become this active participant in connecting, just like when you put an outlet or charger into your phone. Like we get to become sort of this active connection to our inner knowingness. It's through these little slow down moments and reminding ourselves that it's okay to be us. This is good. This is needed. This is important. And this is how we get to do it. This is the practice. So, I hope you felt that. And my invitation for you in tapping into your knowingness is to slow down and be aware. One thing that you're doing today and being maybe is listening to this. That there is this like quiet grounding, quiet center feeling of safety. Even for a second, just acknowledge it and appreciate that you got to tap into that. And then let it go. And then maybe try again later. So I hope you give that a go. And I hope this story and this is serving you. See you next time. My name is Susie, Suzii, 2 eyes, because I believe the I in me sees the I in you. I love you. See you next time.